of the Newberg Area Historical Society, which means that I was the lucky volunteer who said, okay, I'll be present. No. It is a wonderful society. We have about 30 members now, and we are always growing and doing more and more. Right now, we're actively doing a historic signage program in downtown Newberg to teach the history of our downtown area that hopefully will be installed this spring, that we've got the high school involved with, and the college, and downtown coalition, so it's a really big, fun project. We're doing lots of other things. We're doing tours, doing the Camellia Festival. We're also involved in the Old Fashioned Festival. If you're interested in what we do, we have a mailing list and we also have a Facebook page. So both are great ways to get in touch with us, know what we're up to. We don't annoy you with mailings. We send out 1 monthly newsletter, and that is all. Unless there's a very, very special reason, and I promise you that happens maybe once a year. So our next month, we do not have a regular meeting in December, but on December 21st at 6:15 p.m. at Friendsview Manor, we have been asked to join Friendsview for their Christmas celebration. Because a lot of our members overlap with their members, it made sense for us to combine our efforts for Christmas. And we'll be presenting the historic Christmases of Newberg for the Friendsview presentation. It should be a really fun evening. Our Vice President Britta Stewart will be doing that presentation, and I know she's been hard at work doing some research on that. She's a fantastic speaker. I trained her. She's one of my students, so I'm really proud of her. We will, tonight I'm really excited to present Mayor Bob Andrews, who will be our speaker, speaking about his 16 years as mayor. Is that correct? I've heard 3 different numbers. So 12, okay, you'll get there. Okay. I've heard 3 different numbers there, 12, 14, and 16, so I didn't know. We'll go with the biggest. Join me in welcoming Mayor Andrews tonight. Thank you.
Oh, no, I got pocket. You don't need it. Here, you take it. You can give it some other time. Okay.
My cheat sheet here. One advertisement I get to do, then I'll introduce myself. December 1st, Saturday, 5:30, lighting of the Christmas tree. All of you that can make it, please do. I think it'll be great. I'm Bob, a recovering bureaucrat. I'm your current mayor, and soon to be Citizen Bob. Today we're going to go on a 35,000-foot flight over the past few years. I'm not going to drill down onto anything. I want to do a summary of where we've been, what I have experienced as mayor over the years, and it is my pleasure to be able to say thank you for the invitation to share my perspective of Newberg in review. What I'd like to do, I'd like to begin with a tutorial. We'll close out with a Q&A at the end, question and answer. But I want to start out with a little tutorial about knowing your local government, if I may. I think it's important. Much of what I'm going to share with you right now is on our website. In fact, it's all on our website, these parts. Cities are unique in the way they govern versus the state versus the federal government. Cities are very unique. We kind of cover the whole spectrum. Newberg was first incorporated as a town on February 21st, 1889. That was repealed. That was repealed 4 years later. And Newberg's second incorporation was as a city in February 1893. The city's form of government is established by a charter from the people, from you, from the people. The charter, like constitutions, the U.S. Constitution or state constitution, outline the powers of the city, which include the authority of the city council that it has over 3 areas: legislative, administrative, and quasi-judicial. The charter also covers several subject areas that we deal with through city government. The council, talks about what the council is: elections, appointing of officers, personnel, public improvements, and other miscellaneous items. Now, the authority for all of these various activities comes again from the charter. Our legislative authority, the legislative function of the city is spelled out in our ordinances. Ordinances, like, if you can equate that with a law. These are the laws compiled in a volume called the Newberg Municipal Code. And this has all the current laws in one place. The code we have has some 12 different chapters that deal with administration, revenue and finance, animals, public safety, public utilities, streets, etc. The administrative authority, the council makes up its administrative decisions through resolutions or motions. How do we implement, how do we authorize the city to implement the various laws that are passed? These can vary from awarding of contracts to and policy decisions for public records requests, business items, appointing committee members, etc. And then our quasi-judicial authority is also in the charter, and this is the authority that we use as a city council for publishing orders that make quasi-judicial decisions. And these are infrequent, and they include things such as land use, nuisance abatement, historic landmark designations. These can be through orders by the council. Now, for state government and for the federal government, we have the separation of powers: the executive, the judicial, and the legislative. For local government, the city council actually is involved in all three of those activities in greater or lesser degree. Local government, you the people, this is where our politics, our evolution of government really begins, is at the local level. You go back into the history of New England and the early coast, the early states, that's where it all began, was in the local communities, when they decided to come together and band together. I digress. We have appointed officers that are in our charter, and the council's main focus is to set policy. Now, the council is a policy body. The charter says that there shall be a mayor who facilitates the meetings and is a voting member of the council. We, in turn, hire 3 employees, the council does. Not the mayor, but the council. Our city manager, our city attorney, who, by the way, we have with us this evening both, and our municipal judge. And the judge is not here to make any judgment on what I'm doing. So we have 3 employees. Everything else that is going on in the city in the way of getting things done is done by employees who in turn are hired by our city manager for everything but the legal department and our city attorney for the legal department. The municipal judge handles the city's municipal court, but has no employees. Has no employees that they worry about. The council makes decisions and does research during meetings. The setup of how we operate is in the council rules. It is required in the charter that the council adopts rules that how they will operate. The council meets normally on the first and the third Mondays of each month. A work session held at 6 p.m. and then a business session held at 7 p.m. Sometimes it's 7:10, sometimes it's 7:15, but nonetheless, 6 and 7. We allow people to make presentations in the first part. That's all it is, no decision making, etc. And then in the business session, the community can communicate with us, and we also have our hearings at that time. A number of factors are used to determine what goes before the city council. The city council serves as half of the budget committee. We have a budget committee that meets every year in the spring and prepares, gets the budget message from our city manager, and then goes through that and adopts a budget and forwards that to the council for final adoption. That, by state law, the budget committee is composed of all members of the city council, that's our 6 councilors and the mayor, and a like number of citizens of the city of Newberg, not residents of the general area, but citizens of Newberg. We also get into areas on the council agenda of type 2 and type 4 legislative issues dealing with land use and a number of other things, how we proceed on those. Our city recorder maintains a forward-looking calendar, and you can find this on the city website to see what's going on. The council is bound by its own code of conduct. The council are subject to other laws and regulations, including the Public Records and Open Meetings Law and the Oregon Government Ethics Law. They are subject to that. We encourage public participation. We hardly encourage it. We are constantly asking for it. We have had so many meetings when there isn't anybody there to hear what is going on, to get any sense of what is going on. We really are encouraging people to attend the meetings. Please, in the future, wherever you can support that council by being there to at least see what's going on, they will greatly appreciate it. They really do. And then we have, the council establishes either by ordinance or by resolution boards, commissions, and committees. We have standing committees and we have advisory or ad hoc committees. And these are advisory bodies for the council. Advisory bodies for the council. Our standing committees are the budget committee that I talked about. That's by state law. We have the library board. We have the Citizens Rate Review Committee. We have a planning commission. We have a traffic safety commission. We have a historic preservation commission and an affordable housing commission. Those are all standing committees. Our ad hoc committees are our Transient Lodging Tax Committee, our Riverfront Citizens Advisory Committee, Newberg 2030. This is a committee that is looking into what will be in the future for Newberg and what they're working on. We have a Housing Needs Advisory Committee, ad hoc committee, and we have a community visioning that is now just evolving. And one or more of you may have been contacted on that to be part of that visioning ad hoc. I want to share with you, just to kind of lay the groundwork, the City of Newberg vision statement. We're talking about vision, what we'll be moving into. And I quote, "Newberg will cultivate a healthy, safe environment where citizens can work, play, and grow in a friendly, dynamic, and diverse community, valuing partnerships and opportunity." And the council's mission statement is, the City of Newberg serves its citizens, promotes safety, maintains a healthy community. We're often challenged when we look at the role of the city. Got a call today from an individual in Wilsonville that wanted to talk to me about property owned by the school district. What is the city's, what is the school district's, what is CPRD? But in that, we need to drill down a little bit further, and I'm not going to go into great detail on it, but what do you understand, what do you believe to be, and how do we then implement that to be the core functions of city government? During my tenure, the basics have been health, safety, and prosperity. Those are the whatever fits into those become the core functions of city government for the city. The city has also, the council has also adopted priorities. In the most recent review of the priorities that we had this past council meeting, we had a review. We do this on no less than a quarterly basis now. But we have goals to maintain state-of-the-art 911 dispatch. We have a goal to repair and maintain streets, sidewalks, and secure funding. We're making that one work. I'll talk more about that a little bit later. Facilitate the annexation of Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue. That one is done. We have succeeded in that goal. Improve Newberg employee retirement pension system. We are doing that, and we're making the migration so that all of our employees will be under one pension system. Utilize the technology to improve and economize city services within 3 years and obtain functional hardware that reduces redundancies, duplications through the integration of department systems. Streamlining, okay? That's a nice long one talking about streamlining. We have a goal of completing a 5-year financial plan and fiscal policies. I started out wanting that in my early years, and we are now have made the progress, slowly but surely, of building to where we're now working on a 5-year financial plan that is a rolling 5-year financial plan. We didn't have that when this guy first started out. That's encouraging. Expand the city's urban growth boundary. How much money have you seen that we have spent on that over the years as you read the graphic and others? And that is an ongoing challenge. It's an ongoing goal, but it's an ongoing challenge in working with both the state as well as local interests on that. Encourage affordable housing. I started out, 2 basic things that I started out with looking at was an interest in affordable housing and the need for it, identifying that, working towards solutions for that, and the other one was in the area of transportation. Develop a riverfront master plan. We're in the process of doing that. By the way, there will be an open house, I believe on the 4th. I think the evening of the 4th, we have an open house for the riverfront. It will be at the Public Safety Building in the afternoon, beginning around 5. Please do come to that. We have a goal to implement emergency preparedness and response program. This is something new, and this is something that I have been able to, with our current city manager, be able to partner in and see this elevated from just an idea to becoming a working reality. And that is great. Implement the Newberg Economic Development Strategy. We have that basic strategy. We're working towards that. Complete the community visioning process and communication plan to engage Newberg citizens. We're on the threshold of putting that together right now. That will be operational next year. And improve the transit system in and out of Newberg. And that is a fact. It is happening. One of the things that is so important in my judgment and in the application of good governance in Newberg is the role that is played by civility. And we have been fortunate in the councils that we have. When I listen to my counterparts, the mayors that I meet with in other parts of the state, other parts of the region, other parts of the state, Newberg has really been blessed on the quality or the civility of the working relationship that our council has had. The people that have been on your council, on your city council, they really need to be applauded for that. Governance of the city is through its charter, I mentioned this, and the role of the council. It should be noted that policy may be individual opinion. I repeat, policy, it should be noted, can be an individual opinion, but it's only through a collaborative authorization that it gets implemented. through a collaborative authorization. And we have, for all practical purposes, we've enjoyed that for my tenure as mayor. I first took office, well, let's go back. My review here is between 16 and 12 years, or 12 and 16 years. I first took office as a city councilor in 2003 and became mayor in 2007. I am the 44th mayor of the city of Newberg and the second longest serving mayor. Do any of you remember who was the longest serving mayor? I don't know, we have, Clyde, you might have been here. Yeah, you were here when this one was there. I'm trying to think if there are others. Elvern Hall, 16 years. Elvern Hall was the mayor for 16 years. I've been a mayor for 12 years. And he served as the mayor, as I say, for 16 years. Growth, I'm going to make the move now to growth, has been the dominant underlying factor in Newberg's development since I've been an elected official. Growth in population, in housing, in economic development, in community development, and in transportation. Newberg has experienced growth and development in spite of the fact that during this same period of time, we had 5 different city managers and went through a significant recession. We still have had a growth, which I think speaks well for us. We, as a council, through the work of the council and the mayor, we have added student commissioners, individuals that are students from the high school at this time, to be student non-voting members of our Planning Commission, our Traffic Safety Commission, and our Historic Preservation Commission. We've instituted the monthly Mayor's Cabinet meeting, which brings together the chairs of our various advisory bodies so that they have a chance to exchange what's going on, and we're working in a more cohesive way. Newberg is an eclectic community, diverse in its residents, diverse in its governance, its economy, and its education. Now, I talk about growth. However, that growth should be tempered with what we hear from you is, yes, we're interested in growth, managed growth, but we want to retain our small town ambiance. And we've been working diligently for that. During my tenure as an elected official, the charter has been amended twice. There are other amendments to the charter previous to that, and I'm not going to go into detail on those. But we've amended it twice, once in 2006 and the other in 2017. 2006 changed the charter from the mayor's position being a 2-year position to being a 4-year position. And I'm very supportive of that. I think that's the way it should be. Gives the mayor the same opportunities as the councilors to get their feet on the ground and learn what the heck is going on. I first said yes, I would run for mayor on the basis that it was going to be a 2-year office. Then we changed it and it became 4 years. We also added that the mayor in 2006 became a voting member of the council. The mayor has no veto power whatsoever. Didn't have, doesn't have. The only time that prior to 2007 that the mayor was involved in any decisions was to break a tie. With that charter change, then we ended up with a 7-person voting, 6 councilors and the mayor, and the opportunity for a split decision, things not getting passed, was significantly reduced. In 2007, our population was 21,675. In 2018, beginning of 2018, our population was 23,480, an increase of 1,805 people, and 8.3 increase overall. So we have grown. I'd like to kind of tie some of these things up, and again, I tell you, or try to have you share with me, I'm flying at the 3,000, 35,000 foot level, not drilling down into deep ideas. Community development will be the first area that I want to cover, that kind of a review of things that have happened over the years. Since 2006, there have been 18 annexations. And I was reminded that the vast majority of those occurred in the first couple of years that I was in the office as mayor. But we've gone through 18 annexations and a number of different ways of doing it coming out of the legislature. So we've had to kind of work on those. Now we've had 9 comp plan changes, 14 comp plan text changes, and 35 development code changes. We have succeeded in completing the review and the update of our master plans, whether it's the water master plan, the wastewater master plan, stormwater master plan. We're on a 10-year cycle, and those are all current on those reviews. They weren't when I came on board. We did make the annexation, the migration from operating our own fire service to annexing into the Tualatin Valley Rural Fire and Protection District, and that has been a very good move. We have seen, those of you that are associated with it, we have seen a profound expansion in our retirement community throughout the city, but especially for the Friendsview retirement community. We've seen growth in our library. Our Newberg strategic tourism plan is now just about ready to totally unfold and be presented to you. We have the committee working on it right now. They're meeting again in the next week or so, looking at how to finalize the program and present some ideas for their bylaws. The community visioning, that is becoming a fact. We've talked about it. We've talked about it. We've talked about it. There's an old saying, the wheels of the gods grind awfully slowly. And there is more truth than poetry in that. Anyway, that is there. It's coming. We have some people that are already involved in that. We as a city are a city for all ages. We adopted this, and it's a program to promote policies to increase the support of healthy aging for all of our older Americans. We are a city for all ages. We're also an inclusive city. Some of you may agree with that, some of you may not agree with that, but we are an inclusive city. Newberg embraces and celebrates and welcomes the collective contributions to the prosperity of the city of all persons, regardless of race, color, national origin, immigration or refuge status, religion, sex, mental, emotional, physical ability, age, or economic status. We are inclusive. We are, in a sense, a family. The city, you all collectively, we the city, not just city government, but you the city, we had a successful hosting of the Special Olympics Summer Games for 6 years. In fact, we were so successful, we outgrew it. That's literally the bottom line. In spite of what you hear about their financial problems, which were there and continue to be, one of the big problems is we literally outgrew the ability to support them. During that same time, with the encouragement of the leadership of the Special Olympics, the mayor hosted the mayor's bocce ball tournaments for 4 years, and we had a lot of fun with that, with inviting mayors from throughout the state to come in and have these bocce ball tournaments. George Fox is really an integrated part of the community. From when we first moved here to where we are today, the relationship of city government to George Fox is a profound change, and a change for the better. We've seen the addition of lacrosse and soccer. We've known the results of outstanding baseball and softball, the rebirth of the football. We've seen the building of the new Canyon Commons and Hadlock Hall. If you have not seen those, you need to. The new pedestrian bridge. We have new dormitories, and we have another yet under construction off a villa. With a threat, and it was a threat from this mayor, we ended up now having, and it's been built, is the PCC campus for Portland Community College. We weren't getting the service at that time, way back when. And I suggested that if they weren't going to come in and start really providing the service here, then we would consider withdrawing from the district. They said, no, we really, and there was a bond issue passed, we got the facility, and it is starting to really evolve now. We've got students, but it's beginning to pick up on where we need to be. We've had a wastewater treatment plant expansion. We've had, how many of you that have your own homes, etc., or grow your own flowers, etc., have used our New Grow, which is the compost that we have through the new dehydration plan that we adopted. And then we've had other improvements through that. We've had our Dayton Avenue, Fernwood Road, and Highway 240, the pump stations, improvements, and a citywide reduction of I&I, which is inflow and infiltration into our stormwater system and into our sewer system from other waters that clog things up, and that has been an ongoing problem. We initiated and are now looking to get back and examine the role that it's going to play in the future is our reuse water system and the purple pipe. And this has been the first user of that has made this a viable concept has been the golf course and using it for them. But there are now other plans that we now may see come into play in the not too distant future. We have another distinction that came by. We are now, the city of Newberg is now, by legislative action, the community city of the state of Oregon. We enjoyed that, it came out of 2017. During my tenure, we've had a new hospital built. We've had new construction started for that hospital on Providence Drive. We have a new Oregon clinic on Providence Drive. So the evolution of our health delivery systems has really grown to provide that service to our community. Peace City project, one that Rotary initiated. You've seen the posts that we have around here, the Speak to Peace, started by Rotary. We've enjoyed that. We the city, became partners in doing that. One of the ones that I mentioned earlier was our disaster preparedness, response and recovery.